That's eaglerentals.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
It's 11:06 on WSIC News Radio, and you're listening to We're Just Saying with Senator Vicki Sawyer and David. If you'd like to be part of the show, 844-STUDIO-4, and we are streaming on the WSIC News app. We get big time over here.
An app. It's a big deal.
Available for download in your app store in Google, Android.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Well, there really should only be
there really should be only
iPhone.
Apple.
Yeah, there really should be only iPhone.
Yeah.
Because can I just say something?
Yes, please. I hope you're going where.
My biggest pet peeve right now is the green bubble in my text strings.
Amen.
Now, individually, fine. But in my text strings, it ruins everything. I can't send videos. I can't send links. I can't send pictures. And I am a believer that people who are dyed-in-the-wool Android users, and I have confirmed this with some of them, the only reason they do it is to tick off iPhone users. They are like, thank you. That's the only reason they do it. Because I have played with Android phones. They are not better.
Right.
Now, I recognize Apple's taking over the world. We'll all be subservient to Apple one day. I get it. But you're not being contrarian if you're an Android user. You're being annoying to my text strings.
100%.
Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest.
We have got to add that to the big idea bucket. So no electioneering. Yes, no electioneering at polling.
Oh, okay. Yes. No signs. Right of ways.
And persecution of all Android users and group tests.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
No offense to your Android users listening on the WSIC News Wrap.
No, there's offense.
There is offense.
Yeah.
That's just how. But it's like, and it's only a problem in the group text. Only a problem in the group text.
So we have a group text that a bunch of our Raleigh friends are in, and somebody in that group text kicked out.
Really?
A very significant member of the group text because of the green.
Well, you know what? Hey, life's about choices.
It is.
Life's about choices. And if you're going to be an Android user and you're going to be in a group stream, then you risk getting kicked out.
So why do not Android users or Google or whomever is the software behind their messaging app, why do they continue to not allow it to seamlessly sync with iPhone? It seems like the technology is there that if I want to send a PDF in a group text with a guy or girl who's still in the 90s with a green text, that it seems like that could be written into the code to where they could accept an actual PDF.
Well, I'm sure that it probably could, but
I'm
sure there are monetary reasons why they don't want that. I mean, I think maybe they figure if you that too, yes, that'll be it. I'm sure there's a money reason behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. I fully support you on this one, David.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're just building platform after platform.
Yes,
here.
we are. We are.
But we do want to say that even though you do not welcome the texts of Android users, you do welcome their votes.
Correct. That is correct.
So you still support their voting for you, just not their
lifestyle
choices with their phones.
Yes.
That's
Hate
fair.
the sin, but love the sinner.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. See, good rule of thumb.
That's it. That is perfect.
Digressing here.
Yes.
Going into the weekend, March Madness.
It is coming down.
It is.
And it's exciting. I'm so happy for NC State fans.
Yes.
They were have been a miserable lot for a long time.
Yes.
The refs were always against them, and Chapel Hill was cheating.
Well, yeah.
And all of the things. I mean, they were just bitter people, but still loved their beloved Pack.
Exactly. And I can sympathize with that because being the fan of our illustrious university, Go Niners.
Go Niners.
Who have not even sniffed the NCAA tournament in 2 decades.
Yeah.
I believe we're hitting it now, or almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
I understand the bitterness.
Yes.
I understand the hate. I feel it deeply in my bones.
Yeah.
So I am actually very thrilled to see NC State having this kind of success. I am pulling for them the whole way.
Men and women.
Yes. That's
so
huge.
cool.
That is huge.
Did you read or hear that the latest NCAA women's basketball with Iowa with Caitlin Clark? That show had more viewers than any NBA basketball team televised game in like the last 5 years.
I did see that. And what is this coming in
I know,
everywhere?
I love it because we're on fire today,
We
David.
are,
We've
we
got
are.
a. But yeah,
I
isn't
did
that
read that.
cool?
Well, that's very cool. Well, and also to be fair, NBA is a boring sport to
100%.
watch. I did not used to feel
100%.
that way. I cannot sit down and watch it anymore. I just
Yeah.
can't do it. The women's game though, especially has gotten much more exciting than what it used to be. The talent is amazing. Caitlin Clark, obviously, just unbelievable,
Sure.
phenomenon. I don't know if you saw that game when they played against LSU, but she was like shooting from half court.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's
Crazy.
just amazing, absolutely. But I
Yeah.
did see that. But it just, hopefully, and every sport I think goes through these cycles.
Sure.
Maybe with the exception of the NFL right now, because the NFL, I don't think they generally as a whole, I don't
They're a
think lose views.
juggernaut.
They're just a juggernaut right now.
Mhm.
But baseball has been through it. NASCAR obviously
Mhm.
is still in the midst of it, I believe. NBA going
Mhm.
through it now, because I think people enjoy sports, but people also enjoy stories. People enjoy
Right.
characters. People enjoy
Right.
personalities. And
Mhm.
right now in the women's game, there are some great personalities.
Mhm.
And Caitlin Clark is a phenom. She's a
Mhm.
story, and that draws people to say, even if I'm not a basketball fan, even if I'm
Sure.
not a women's basketball fan, I need to see this
Right.
because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to be able to have the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's drawing in views. And I think it's awesome.
I think it's so good. It's so fantastic. And it also highlights that political point that we've made all along in the General Assembly is that we need to protect women's sports.
Absolutely.
Like if you were to, did you think Caitlin Clark would have this type of notoriety and success if they were allowed men to play against her?
No.
She would go from the top of her profession or her chosen sport to mid-range.
Yes. Oh, I mean, and you're 100% correct, because this is a story. This is a story, for women's sports
Yeah.
about a woman who is being highly successful in her field.
Mhm.
If she is playing against men, it's not happening. It's just simply not. Again, and
Yeah.
I say the NBA game is boring and everything like that. You put an NBA player on Caitlin Clark, she'll be lucky to get a shot off. That's just how it is. Bigger, stronger, faster.
Right.
It's not sexist to say that.
No.
But so in those situations, she would not be having that success. We wouldn't have that story. The
Right.
girls that are just loving her and inspired by her
Yeah.
and getting into the game, getting active, enjoying this, aren't seeing it. So there's a detrimental effect to that all around.
Right.
These things need to be seen and done. And you put men in women's sports, and you have been a leader on this, keeping them out of women's sports in North
Mhm.
Carolina, which is fantastic. These things aren't happening.
Right.
And it is to the detriment of women that
Yeah.
stuff like that happens.
So yeah, you're going to sacrifice the social well-being of one person who identifies as a man to a legion of thousands of young girls who are looking up to Caitlin Clark right now and getting inspired to be the next basketball stars. It is just sports and women are so important. It teaches us how to work together. We need those type of challenges to understand and later in life, and success in sports actually does correlate to success in your business life. I mean,
Yes, it does.
obviously I was a top athlete at one point.
Well, yes.
Not to look at me now, you can't see,
were,
but
you were. I mean, you were a
very
you were
competitive.
very competitive softball player.
Yes, very competitive softball player. Played softball until I started becoming a politician.
Yeah,
I think I missed those
that'll ruin
days.
everything.
It does, man. It's like kids.
I was a weekend warrior myself on the softball field
Oh,
for a period
really?
of time, but
In
then
Candler?
you know what? Candler had some good softball.
I'm sure they did.
The Buncombe Baptist League was a stuff of legends when I was
Look,
there.
y'all, no joke. As a girl who grew up in Winston-Salem, I did not mind heading east to go play ball.
Mhm.
But when I head west to the mountains, y'all just grew those girls a little differently.
Yes, we did.
They were strong, and I was intimidated, and we never won.
Exactly. That's what we do in Candler Town.
That's what we
You're
do.
listening to We're Just Saying on WSIC. We'll be right back.
Stay with us. We'll have more of We're Just Saying with NC Senator Vicki Sawyer after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying breezy as we round out the work week, and cool, too. Partly cloudy skies. We warm into the low 60s again, still with that breeze, and that'll hang on as we get into the first part of the weekend. Overnight temperatures will dip down into the mid-30s around the farms. Could even be a few folks that see some patchy frost early Saturday morning. We'll warm it up into the mid-60s for Saturday and a little closer to 70 by Sunday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, come enjoy Burkdale's first Live Under the Oaks concert for 2024. Danny Carr and the Skeleton Crew will break in the Burkdale stage for the concert season. Bring your lawn chairs to Huntersville and come early. Music powered by Waves Entertainment begins at 6 p.m. Come out and have an amazing time in Mooresville with a weekend doubleheader. On Friday, Uncorked and Artsy returns from 5:30 to 9 p.m. featuring wine and craft beer tastings and an art walk display. Then Saturday marks the beginning of the 2024 Festival of Food Truck Series. Information is available at downtownmooresville.com. The Kane Center for the Arts hosts 4 big shows in 3 days. Thursday, April 11th, sees singer and guitarist Joni Shaw Taylor performing. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show begins at 8 p.m. Friday, April 12th, 80s music icon John Oates performs. Doors also open at 7 p.m. with the show beginning at 8 p.m. On Saturday, April 13th, comedian Jeff Allen delivers laughs at a 4 p.m. matinee and then again at 8 p.m. Saturday night. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Merle Fest is back April 25th through 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen every morning to Good Morning LKN and follow WSIC News on Instagram for your chance to win tickets. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
It's We're Just Saying with North Carolina Senator Vicky Sawyer on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Back to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio with Senator Vicky Sawyer and David. If you'd like to be part of our show, 844-STUDIO-4. We are streaming on the WSIC News app, so you can go out there, download that, and take us and the rest of the WSIC lineup everywhere you go.
We're almost like a family. We got a General Assembly family on WSIC.
I know,
for
we
sure.
do. Absolutely. You add the Home Ad show in with that,
Yeah.
and then Cooking with Gasoline.
Yeah.
So, do have a little bit of politics to talk today.
Do we?
We have a little bit of
A
politics.
little bit.
And it does kind of go back to you and I's alma mater. We were talking about, our basketball wilderness that we still remain in today. But made the news this week with the university actually, finding itself, hopefully gently trying to correct our Student Government Association on campus. The Student Government Association had passed a resolution basically calling what's going on over in Israel between them and Hamas an Israeli genocide. It was genocide against the Palestinian people, and part of their resolution included they wanted to right the legal and moral wrongs UNCC has committed against the Palestinian people.
So what did our beloved Niners do to harm Palestinian people?
Other than let them exercise their free speech rights, I can't find any harm or anything. Basically, I guess, now, and to be fair, this is happening in student governments across the country.
100%, yes.
The younger, a lot of these younger kids have been completely brainwashed
these days.
on between TikTok and what there's no discernible, there's no critical thinking or anything like that.
Yeah.
What college is supposed to be about, free exchange of ideas, but critical thinking, things like that.
Yes.
Some of that clearly not taking place.
No.
And but I will give the university credit. They came out and said we will not be enacting upon this. Part of the statement said that the Student Government Association leadership has been counseled several times on the university's commitment to maintain institutional neutrality and encouraged to consider that their requests of administrators. This SGA resolution does not align with that commitment and will not be acted upon by the administration.
Good.
So good for them standing up against things like this coming from student government associations. I applaud the university for doing that, because had this been Harvard, they probably would have been embracing it and throwing it, because a lot of these higher institutions are completely brainwashed themselves. But it's nice to see Charlotte's pretty well grounded.
If it was Harvard, I'm sure that they would have to have a plagiarism exercise in their resolution.
Exactly. That would be part of it as well.
Is this something you actually wrote yourself, or is that? Yeah, I'm fascinated about what these kids or these young adults think that this accomplishes?
Yeah.
Like, where's their? I guess they're still at that age where idealism controls and emotions controls your output. But at some point, maybe just we have the gift of being a little older now. We look back and on these actions and go, "Where's your win?"
Yeah.
All right. So you made this resolution. Yeah, you feel better about the resolution, whatever the resolution should be. But your student government has no say in anything that happens. This is a international issue.
Right.
UNC Charlotte has nothing to do with it. Being on campus and knowing the administration of that campus, they are welcoming to all people, right? They're not singularly, putting one person over another based on race or any of that stuff. So, like, where's your win, kid? Like, you've just basically severed yourself and identified yourself as an activist group, and so now people are not going to take you seriously, especially the administrators for the Student Government Association. So yay for you to feel good for that one moment, but the ramifications of your actions are going to basically neuter the power of the Student Government Association at UNC Charlotte. I mean, how dumb.
Well, and you would think that the fact that one of the sponsors of this resolution was the Young Democratic Socialists, you would think that would be a signal. Hey, maybe we don't take this up. But you know what?
Yeah.
Fine. You have the
Agreed.
right to do it. Fine.
Sure.
But I agree with you. It's just like, where is your win in this? And I really think at the end of the day, none of these things that pass through these that get passed through these SGAs and things like that are about practical impact. I don't. They're about feeling good about yourself. They're about a self-righteous bone that you have in your body.
Right.
See what we did. See how woke we are. See how concerned we are and everything like that. And it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
It says, all right, you're a little bit better than the rest of us who don't agree with you. Good on you. Take that feeling and go with it and try to get a job.
I wish that I had like Bill Gates money, because I would set up a travel to Palestine day for all of these kids who are standing up for that, and see truly what Palestinians think of folks who are gay,
or
folks who are trans, or how do they treat their women, and what are you really fighting for and standing up for?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, maybe just get out of our bubble and go travel the world and see how amazing America is. We are the most fabulous country in the world, and we have the best opportunities for every citizen here. And to sit there and slam us over and over again just shows me how narrow-minded and small of your world is. Go find other countries and see how not great it is for your causes.
And it's kind of like during the election, right? When you get all those far left celebrities that say, if Trump's elected, if Romney's elected, they've been doing it for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving America. How many of them ever left?
I don't know.
None?
Not enough.
None. I mean, all these people say they're going to leave and then they don't.
Right.
Because it's like, look, you want to go to and it's always funny to me is just like, we're going to leave. We're going to go. And then you don't. Well, why didn't you go? Because deep down there's no place you'd rather be.
Right.
There's no place that's going to give you more freedom. There's no place that's going to give you more opportunity to prosper, to be what you want to be. But it's just fashionable now to run America into the ground because it makes you seem enlightened. Oh, we're not one of those Americans. Right. We're not like them, right? Yeah, we're American, but we hate being Americans.
Right.
And we're sorry that we're Americans because we know we've done so. Now, look, America is not a perfect country, and no one's claiming it is, but no country is perfect.
Sure.
No country, and so if you're going to look for a country that is the least imperfect that you can find, America, you're going to have a hard time it not being America.
Absolutely. Maybe it's because these kids that are in school now never went through a major terrorist attack on our shores like 9/11.
Maybe.
They were not born then. Were born like recent, because we weren't allowed inside.
We weren't
you
allowed
were kicked outside, and we had to stay outside with no sunscreen, no water bottle, just our buddies and a street light to tell us when it's time to come home.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. We were feral kids running around.
We really were.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I enjoyed growing up that way.
I did too.
And I had my wife and I had this conversation not too long ago because our kids are very different. We kick them outside the house and everything like that, but play outside and everything like that. But their social networks and groups are so much online these days, and through phones and things like that, they don't, a lot of their friends are, 15 miles away.
Right.
And so it's not as easy to run over to the friend's house and things like that. And it's like, we think, hey, we should have them outside more, and I think we should, but it's like kind of like, maybe the world's just different now.
It is.
And it's just the social interactions are different. It's like, yeah, I might kick them outside, but they're not might not be any other kid out there.
Right.
It's like
so they're
out
just
there
like
by
looking
themselves.
at the window like, Dad, let me back in.
There's no one out here to play with. But I do think at the end of the day, it's a perspective that it's just that this generation has, and they are so bombarded of comfort, of ease.
Oh my gosh.
And the pandemic, right? I mean, that didn't help, right? Because they stayed inside through that. But I do think it's just generation, and maybe things are just different now. Maybe the way we did it is just not. I mean, it was good for us. Maybe it's not the best way now. I'll acknowledge that.
Yeah, probably so. But and maybe it was some of our helicopter parenting that has allowed these kids to do that. But going back to this just whole trend in this age group of, and I'm sure it's just a small portion of those folks who are this. Like just in our own age group, there's only a small portion of us that kind of make us go, "Oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing?" So maybe that's really what's happening here. But I do see that COVID was tough, but man, there's a lot tougher things that could happen than just having to sit in your comfy home, playing on the internet with your Lululemon, outfit and your Stanley Cup.
What
and
is
a
Lululemon?
A Lululemon is a brand. It is a very high-end brand of apparel that a lot of women loved wearing because it shapes them correctly as they go to the gym.
Shapes them correctly.
Well, it's flattering.
Flatteringly. Do they make men's stuff? I mean, to look into this.
They make men's stuff too.
Does it shape us flatteringly?
I have no idea because I do not own one piece of Lululemon.
Well,
now my children do.
Literally, just until you just spoke about this, I would have thought Lululemon was like a special kind of like actual lemon, like a hybrid lemon that grew on some kind of tree.
No, really. There's a conspiracy about why the founder of that brand named it Lululemon.
Really?
Total conspiracy, I'm saying here.
I embrace
unfounded.
I embrace it.
You embrace?
The more unfounded, the more conspiracy, the more I embrace.
The more you embrace. Okay, so yeah, all right. Apparently, the founder of Lululemon is very racist against folks who are Chinese descent.
Okay.
And Chinese folks have a hard time in Americans saying L's.
So that's why he named it that?
That's the conspiracy. So because it's hard for them to enunciate
L's.
So they say Ruru women and not Lululemon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Interesting.
Straight out conspiracy theory.
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean,
I saw it on the TikTok.
Well, then it must be true. Because you can't put things on TikTok if they're not true. That's like one of the rules.
And that's where these kids are getting influenced about their anti-Israeli sentiments and their pro-Palestine stuff. Is they're getting influenced through these folks who probably are the same one who made up that whole Lululemon story.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, we're not getting any help from our president on that. He basically issued a edict to Israel about start doing things better or face the consequences. And
they're
it's just like
running to their crazy parts of their base to get more support.
It's election season.
I know.
It's election season. You're listening to We're Just Saying on WSIC News. We'll be right back.
Stay with us. We'll have more of We're Just Saying with NC Senator Vicki Sawyer after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying breezy as we round out the work week and cool, too. A partly cloudy sky as we warm into the low 60s again, still with that breeze, and that'll hang on as we get into the first part of the weekend. Overnight temperatures will dip down into the mid-30s around the farms. Could even be a few folks that see some patchy frost early Saturday morning. We'll warm it up into the mid-60s for Saturday and a little closer to 70 by Sunday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Happening now at Randy Marion Ford Chevrolet in Statesville.
You know Randy Marion is always the place to buy your new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, but how about Randy Marion wants to buy your car? If you have an extra vehicle sitting in your driveway today, come bring them to Randy Marion Chevrolet stores in Statesville. We want to buy it. We will give you top dollar, give you what you're looking for, and get rid of that extra car in the driveway. Come see us today, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville and Randy Marion Ford Lincoln.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
WSIC is your home all season long for NASCAR Cup Series racing. This weekend, it's the Cookout 400 from Martinsville Speedway. April 7th at 2 o'clock on WSIC.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. High prices and those new weight loss drugs have people buying less bread. Although crop conditions for wheat are the best in 4 years, purchases of many flour-based foods have been slipping. The Agriculture Department expects the amount of wheat used in food this year to hit the lowest level in half a decade. In the closing 3 months of last year, millers turned out the least flour for that time of year in data going back a full decade, signaling demand for the baking staple isn't quite holding up. Payrolls rose in March by the most in nearly a year, and the unemployment rate dropped, pointing to a strong labor market that's powering the economy. Employers added 303,000 jobs last month, following a combined 22,000 upward revision to job gains over the prior 2 months. The unemployment rate fell to 3.8%. Wall Street's indexes moving upward. Dow gaining more than 1/3%. S&P 500 up 2/3. NASDAQ up 1%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Now more We're Just Saying with North Carolina Senator Vicky Sawyer on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio with Senator Vicky Sawyer and David. If you'd like to be part of the show, 844-STUDIO-4. We are still streaming live all through the WSIC News app.
I just heard the coolest thing.
What?
May 24th. Is that right, Bill? Todd Starnes, radio superstar.
Really?
The new Rush, I guess you would say. Is going to be recording at WSIC Studios in Statesville right after our show.
Really?
I'm totally going to try to get on a show.
I think you should.
I mean, I think we should start a groundswell of support to allow me and you to be on Todd Starnes' show, the national footprint. I mean, this is radio excellence right here.
Well, I worry about that.
Why?
Because if he's there and prepping after, while our show's going on, the intimidation factor.
Dude, I'm not intimidated.
That's going to come up to. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about him.
Oh,
I mean, following our show, right? Because right now I'm sure he doesn't know who we are. But if he's in studio prepping and he hears this excellence coming out over the WSIC News, and he has to follow that, and not only follow that, he's got to do it in the same studio we were in.
I know.
That's a lot of pressure for somebody.
I can see how he would be completely intimidated by our excellence.
I can too.
I know.
I mean, it really. I mean, honestly, how could you not be?
Yeah. I mean, I'm already going to pick an outfit out. I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're going to have a Todd Starnes outfit?
Yes, I'm going to have a Todd Starnes. No, I don't wear anybody's logos but my own, by the way.
Okay.
I really don't. Only UNC Charlotte.
Well, yes.
And my own campaign logo gear. But I don't. That's
why,
you know.
And the junior, the insurance dog.
That's Sawyer Insurance, right.
Yeah,
but
you wear that.
But, I know a lot of women who like the Lululemon and the Louis Vuitton and all that other stuff. I purposely don't buy that stuff because I don't like advertising for anybody other than me.
See, look at you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're very self-aware.
I'm very, hey, if I'm going to advertise, it's better use of something that's going to help us in the elections or Sawyer Insurance or our beloved 49ers.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah. That's my daughter got upset with me because I wouldn't wear an Appalachian t-shirt when she went to App.
Well, hey, you know what?
I mean,
you didn't go to Tweetsy.
No,
you don't have to wear their stuff.
I know. But you know what else? We totally were lamenting the fact that UNC Charlotte basketball team hasn't made it to the Final Four.
Well, hasn't made it to the tournament.
The tournament. Oh, that's right.
In like 20 years. They have made it to the Final Four. That was just 4 decades ago.
Okay. So boo. But there's a whole host of other athletes at UNC Charlotte
Yes, there are.
who have done great things, and one being the women's softball team.
Yes, they are machines this year.
They are, and they were actually the 2023 regular season champions for Conference USA.
Exactly.
And
yes, well done.
And they're playing now. Their season is going on now. It's so much fun to go watch them play. I know baseball's good and it's got a rhythm, but man, softball is fast and
baseball's not good.
Yeah.
Baseball
I was gonna try
is
to be
profoundly
nice.
boring.
Except for the Savannah Bananas. Have you been watching them?
Yeah, I have seen some Savannah Bananas.
Did you see the center fielder for the Savannah Bananas on a pop-up fly catch the ball and do a backflip at the same time?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, I've got
Honestly,
to show you.
I've not seen anybody do that since I used to do it.
Why do I think that's not true?
Actually, what I used to do is catch it and then fall on my backside.
so
I didn't do a back foot. I did a back flop.
You did a back flop. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I did a back flip. Okay, yeah. So I think Savannah Bananas are doing really good to making the baseball fun again, but women's softball is absolutely rocking.
Oh, yeah,
it's
and
so much fun.
they do a great job out there. If you've never been out to a game, you should go. It is fantastic.
Hey, I celebrated a win last week a little bit.
What'd you celebrate?
It wasn't that great. It was like an intellectual win.
Okay.
And probably nobody knows about it but me. That's why I'm going to talk about it on the radio show.
Well, it is your show.
Okay. For the past 4 years, I've heard our constituents' complaints. Actually, 6 years, I've heard constituents' complaints about the DOT, North Carolina Department of Transportation, and they ran out of money in 2017, which totally backlogged everything. They are currently not delivering on, as try as they may, not delivering on promises they've made 20 years ago about new road construction, and they keep, the whole 9 yards, right? And I'm trying to, at the very beginning of this thing, is like, okay, just help me understand your budget so that I can understand where the money's going and why these things are working out. And they kept having this disconnect between the General Assembly and the agency, and some people in that agency maybe had told the General Assembly central staff that they don't understand math.
The central staff doesn't understand math.
The central staff doesn't understand
and probably
math.
vis-a-vis you as a senator don't understand math.
I'm pretty sure the agency calls me that woman. What is that woman asking now? What is that? But you know what? That is my job, is to ask for transparency and accountability. That's a $6 billion enterprise, and they ran out of money 5 years ago. I think you still need to ask questions and continue to figure out where the money's at and why are these projects not getting delivered on time. And you can only use the inflation excuse for so long when you know this is coming up. I mean, there's just, it's not, the NCDOT is not a bad, mean group of people. So please don't do that. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that they speak in accounting terms in Middle English, like the language of William Shakespeare. And we are talking like modern English.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, truly the best way I can talk about. Like, when you read like a Romeo and Juliet, you're like, what are they talking about? That's kind of how DOT's budget is. So they have a new chief financial officer named Mark Newsom, and he came in, and he's actually a certified public accountant, which has standards, professional standards that he has to adhere to. And he was so kind. He got up and he had mentioned and talked to and presented to us. Again, I'm sure it was very boring to anybody else who's watching it, but me, I'm smiling on the inside. And he admitted, you know what? We haven't been following the GASB laws. We haven't been reporting correctly. The certified budget that you guys send over here, I understand, and we try to follow it, but we basically just put it to the side, and then we run our different pockets and different budgets. There's not a general ledger, and they treat everything as a project. That is not the way accounting should be done. But man, the DO. So have you ever heard that whole thing about girl math? Do you know what girl math is?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh, where have you been? You must be busy working.
You know what, Vicky? I don't believe in labels. I don't embrace labels.
So
girl math or Lululemons. I don't embrace these things. I love everybody.
Okay, so girl math is and I really do think Belk's department store started out girl math. Girl math
is girl math when my wife comes home and tells me how much she saved at Target. We don't talk about how much she actually spent.
100%.
Okay, then I do know what girl math is. I just didn't know it had a name. Okay, cool. So please continue. I feel better now.
So there's girl math, right? Like, I bought this and I may have spent this much money, but look how much money I saved. I think the same thing as like DOT is like girl math. Like they have their own language. It's like DOT math. They're like, it's not based on necessarily logic, right? And it's just crazy. So the coolest thing happened is the new CFO, Mark Newsom, sat down and said, you know what? You're right. We do have a transparency issue. It is going to take a lot to fix. I mean, this is an institution that's been around for a long time, and they've got their own ways, and there's 11,000 employees.
Oh, my gosh.
11,000.
Wow.
Did you know that, they have a vacancy rate of a certain percentage?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much that meant in lapsed salaries for the past year?
How much?
$300 million.
So
the General Assembly's funding
you appropriated
money based on the amount, they call them FTEs, full-time employees, which is like bureaucrats' dream. Everybody needs another FTE. So in the budget, there is an appropriation for the amount of employees that an agency has. If the agency doesn't employ or is not at full employment, guess what happens with that money?
They keep it?
They get to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Across
so there's $300
million.
That basically would just stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't they putting that into more roads?
100. That's the reason why I need this budget transparency and accounting. We need to be able to see where that money's going, and we need to, as appropriators, appropriate it to things like honoring the commitments that the Board of Transportation has made to our constituents across North Carolina to build these roads.
Yeah.
So I was with Town of Cornelius yesterday, and exit 27, is it Atrium that is trying to come in and build a hospital there, but they do necessarily need an exit over I-77. The estimate for that's like $60 million or something like that, $60-70 million to build that. Okay, that's 1/3 of the lapsed salary, or not even a third, like a fifth of the lapsed salary right there. That can make a real economic impact to our community. And that same story can be told across North Carolina.
Well, I'm sure
so where's the money going? So anyway, again, that's why I want to go back to this very boring, nondescript GovOps meeting or oversight meeting when the CFO came in and said, yes, I see the problem. It's not that you guys can't understand math, is that we're not doing a good job explaining to you where the money is going. And so that has been what I've been in Raleigh and Senator Lazara and Senator McGinnis on the Senate side ever since January. And we're trying to figure out where the money is going, because I want that money to go to roads.
Yeah, well, 100%. Well, and it's good. And the first step to fixing a problem is admitting you have it, right?
Yes.
So it's awesome that you have somebody there,
finally,
in a state to actually, who will come in and say, yeah, we've got a problem. And honestly, the accounting standards that he has to, adhere to, because he is a CPA, that only works to y'all's benefit. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's awesome that you're finally getting at least a little bit of transparency.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine as they continue to dig into this, what they're going to find.
Right.
There's no telling. I mean, you're talking billions and billions of dollars. If you can't account for it, who knows where it's going and what it's going to?
Right. Exactly. If you don't know where you're going, anywhere will take you there.
Was it what?
No. Did I say that? Yeah, that's it.
If you don't know
where you're going, anywhere will take you there.
Did you just invent that, or is that an actual saying?
I think I'm going to take ownership.
Okay, do it.
But I shouldn't, because I'm pretty sure I didn't make that one up.
Well, as far as I know, you did.
Okay.
And that's all that matters.
All right, Team Vicky.
Team Vicky, always. You're listening to We're Just Saying. We'll be right back.
There's more We're Just Saying with North Carolina Senator Vicky Sawyer on the way from 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying breezy as we round out the work week, and cool too. Partly cloudy skies. We warm into the low 60s again. Still with that breeze, and that'll hang on as we get into the first part of the weekend. Overnight temperatures will dip down into the mid-30s around the farms. Could even be a few folks that see some patchy frost early Saturday morning. We'll warm it up into the mid-60s for Saturday and a little closer to 70 by Sunday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, come enjoy Burkdale's first live Under the Oaks concert for 2024. Danny Carr and the Skeleton Crew will break in the Burkdale stage for the concert season. Bring your lawn chairs to Huntersville and come early. Music powered by Waves Entertainment begins at 6 p.m. Come out and have an amazing time in Mooresville with a weekend doubleheader. On Friday, Uncorked and Artsy returns from 5:30 to 9 p.m. featuring wine and craft beer tastings and an art walk display. Then Saturday marks the beginning of the 2024 Festival of Food Truck Series. Information is available at downtownmooresville.com. The Kane Center for the Arts hosts 4 big shows in 3 days. Thursday, April 11th, sees singer and guitarist Joni Shaw Taylor performing. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show begins at 8 p.m. Friday, April 12th, 80s music icon John Oates performs. Doors also open at 7 p.m. with the show beginning at 8 p.m. On Saturday, April 13th, comedian Jeff Allen delivers laughs at a 4 p.m. matinee and then again at 8 p.m. Saturday night. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Merle Fest is back April 25th through 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen every morning to Good Morning LKN and follow WSIC News on Instagram for your chance to win tickets. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Call now to speak with NC Senator Vicky Sawyer at 844-STUDIO-4. It's We're Just Saying on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to We're Just Saying on WSIC News Radio with Senator Vicky Sawyer and David. Glad you're part of the show, 844-STUDIO-4. We're also still streaming on the WSIC app.
Yeah.
Take us anywhere you want to go.
I'm starting it.
Are you starting it?
I'm starting my Todd Starnes stalking.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. I
Boning
just,
up so you can act like you know what you know
Yep.
who he is and what he's talking about. And
I'm going to hit the follow right now. Got it.
Oh, you followed?
I'm following Starnes now.
See, here it comes.
Here it comes. He better be watching out.
Yes, I know,
Watch
right?
his back.
You're gonna like going in there. You really need me on your show. You know you need me on this show.
Yes. It's 100%.
And he's probably gonna say, "Bless your heart."
He's probably going to say, "You're right, Senator
right.
Sawyer. I do need you on the show."
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's
We're
gonna
getting
say.
called up to the big time, baby.
I really don't think that's happening, but if it did, it'd be pretty cool.
Oh, come on, David. You got to believe in something. I mean, we're
Okay.
becoming an age where it's hard to get excited about things.
That's fair. That's a fair point. That's a
yeah,
fair point.
so we got to be excited about taking over Todd Starnes' show. I mean, sorry, I said that out loud. It was just, getting on a show.
There you go.
Once I get on, then our magnanimous personality will take it over.
Well, one
I'm
thing
sure.
I can get excited about is the fact that, unlike California, North Carolina has not mandated a $20 minimum
Holy
wage.
smokes!
Did you see it?
Yes.
So it went live, and they were doing all these stories, and like there was this one where where they walked into a McDonald's. There was not a person out there to be a cashier. All it was the machines, and then you had the cooking staff in the back, but there was nobody manning anything related to teller.
Did you know that there is one, quote, fast food restaurant that doesn't have to participate in the $20 an hour?
Who's that?
Panera. You want to know why?
Because it's rich people food? Democrats love Panera?
Yeah. So a rich dude who owns Panera is one of Gavin Newsom's biggest supporters.
See, I'm so shocked that Gavin Newsom would engage in cronyism like that. I mean, it just seems so unlike him. He just comes across as someone who is just straight up, just honest, would never do anything like that. So I must say, color me shocked.
Now, I do say that I pulled that information, I think, from the Pete Calendar show, so I didn't come up with that crackpot piece of information on my own. Somewhere,
you heard it. I mean,
I heard
Pete
it.
Calendar. I mean, I would assume he's fantastic. I would assume that's true.
Although I might need to go on his show just so I can take it over too.
See, everybody's
gonna be Todd
you're
Starnes
just
or Pete
intimidating.
Calendar.
They're just intimidating everybody. Just going to consolidate the hours for you.
Okay, so let's think about this. So fast food, $20 an hour. So two things are going to happen. One, they're going to automate the delivery, which that's what you're saying, right? So now you have to go, and if you want a McDonald's cheeseburger, which God, I hate it, but I love McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
I do.
There's nothing to hate about that.
I know, but it's like
Embrace
such
it.
bad food for you. But
It's
man.
not. It's not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not, but I do. Man, that number 7, the 2 cheeseburger meal with the Diet Coke, so good.
See, now, if you want to feel better about yourself, then get the double cheeseburger value meal.
Why?
Because it's less bread.
Okay.
It's 2 less slices of bread.
Okay.
So really, you're being healthy by denying. Say, kind of like, when you go to Target and you tell us how much you save, as opposed to how much you spent.
That's girl math.
That's girl math. Employee girl math at McDonald's.
Yes.
And you still you're going to save calories because you got rid of 2 pieces of bread. So it's about how you cut your calories versus how many you're consuming.
I've had similar I've had similar conversations at the Senate lunch table in the General Assembly, and this was a couple of years back. So a little secret is that our buddies, we all try to go to at the same time to eat lunch because it's such a busy day. You don't get to see each other, so it's fun to hang out. And there's a member dining room that basically is out of like 1975. I don't think they've changed anything since then. I mean, the pink and the green and the worn out wood. It is nothing to be excited about. But it is fun to go in because we just sit there and hang out. Well, two of the people who hang out is now Congressman Chuck Edwards and current Senator Ralph Heiss. Now, if you know anything about Ralph, he is a mathematician and he is good at it. And he's also a fan of McDonald's. Chuck Edwards, on the other side, owns McDonald's and a lot of franchises. He's a franchisee for McDonald's and has a lot of different places. They both live in the same area. So Ralph would make a game of going menu busting at McDonald's for Chuck Edwards.
Oh, my gosh.
And Ralph would sit there and tell about how he would order and menu bust and get something for like 50 cents cheaper than he would. And then Chuck would have to go back home and like work the menu and figure it out. And so it was always so much fun. Now,
describe menu busting.
Okay, so I think one of his menu hacks was, instead of ordering a bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, he would order a egg and cheese biscuit for like $1.50, and then a side of sausage, which was 50 cents. So it'd make his sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit $2, but the menu sold it a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit for like $3.25.
Wow. Big brain.
And he went down on like the sauces and he figured out how many he could get and when.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was impressive. And you could just see Congressman Edwards now sitting over there going like, Ralph, come on.
Costing me money, Ralph. You're costing me money. I love that.
It is so much. That table is so much fun. We have funny rules and we goof around, and like there's no house members allowed on the table except for John Bell.
John Bell is allowed?
The Majority Leader John Bell's allowed. Yeah.
Wow.
We've got some serious rules there.
Exclusionary.
Yeah, we are. It is basically high school. Yes, I get it. We make your laws. I understand. But really, it's a camaraderie and comedic relief to have fun with people that during the day. And so it's just so much fun. So there is legitimately a Senate table, and that was actually started by the Democrats. And so when we took over the table too.
Well, look at you.
I mean, schoolyard rocks right here, baby.
Well done. Well done. But it's interesting. I did want to pull this out since we did have a little bit of a sports theme going today.
Yeah.
The court case the ACC has against Florida State.
Yeah. No, Florida State against
or Florida State against the ACC. Well, no, it's the ACC against Florida State. They're suing them to keep them from leaving.
Right.
And so there was a judge in Mecklenburg County, which apparently is the district that it's being heard in, actually ruled that the NCAA had followed their procedures or the ACC, excuse me, and could sue them to try to keep them, to stay in, to keep them from to leave.
Yeah. I mean,
the judge probably went to Carolina.
Maybe so.
Conspiracy theories abound, but he probably went to Carolina.
Yes, this podcast brought to you by Conspiracy Theories USA, coming right here from Cornelius,
and Reynolds Wrap.
And Reynolds Wrap.
The best tinfoil hats are made with Reynolds Wrap.
I know. So this whole like college alignment thing is interesting in ACC, and I know that is it Clemson now that wants to leave the ACC as well.
Yeah, I think. I mean, honestly, there's not going to be much left of the ACC. And look, there's just too many dollars involved.
But ACC is like one of the only conferences that had 4 teams left in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, but that was basketball.
Well, what does that matter?
Football was what drives the train.
The
All
football.
the money's in football. Now, there's a huge amount of money in basketball. Don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
it doesn't approach what there is in football.
In football, and that's for TV rights
And that's
all that other
TV
stuff.
rights. It is football is big business. And so these schools like Florida State and Clemson,
Sure,
that
they're big
to be
football
fair,
schools.
actually have really good football schools and good football tradition. They want to go to the conferences that have the big dollars and the TV contracts,
Right.
and that's not the ACC. ACC football doesn't really, other than to true fans of the ACC, not really moving it. But like everyone wants to watch Michigan, Ohio State. Everyone wants to watch,
Really, everyone wants to watch Michigan, Ohio State.
I don't care. Look, if you're a football fan, and it doesn't matter if you don't care anything about the Big Ten, you will watch Michigan, Ohio State.
I know that's a long-standing rivalry. I actually watched a documentary about it.
See, there you go. Thank you. Even you, but you are a football savant, though.
Oh no,
You are deep. You are steeped in football tradition and knowledge.
I'm a passive viewer, bandwagon fan. Actually, I should get a T-shirt. Bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
Because I'm bandwagon at NC State right now, women and men. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think
they're the
so.
only teams playing right now that we like
I
that are from
know.
the state.
I know.
So there's no reason to that.
I know.
But in football, you will watch teams that have absolutely nothing to do with the conference or the school that you went to. Alabama, Auburn, fantastic rivalry. Clemson, South Carolina,
Yeah, that's
great
good.
rivalries.
That is a good
People
one.
will watch those football games just because of the tradition that comes from
Right.
watching them.
Army, Navy.
And I will watch the Army Navy
Will
game.
you? I was
Yeah.
curious about that.
Army Navy's a great one.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And but there's just big dollars in these other conferences.
Well, we'll see what happens. So I guess the court said that ACC was in the right, and that they actually negotiated in good faith, and they can continue the lawsuit.
They can continue the lawsuit. Is what they're allowed to do.
Yeah, because what's the number about like 640 million or something? There was like
It's a
600
crazy
million
number.
or something
Yeah,
that
it is a
Florida State is
crazy
saying
number.
that they'll have to pay to get out
Yep.
or something like that.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's lost TV it adds up. It's like lost TV revenue plus future ticket sales based off of them being part. I mean, it is an insane number. And they make it very, very difficult for someone to leave.
Right.
Now, to be fair, some of these schools can got boosters that'll come up with the money.
Sure.
But you don't want to have obviously you don't want to have to pay that.
Yeah. Well, it seems like I don't know. I'm always not one to want to pick up my ball and leave and leave a fight. It seems like why can't they just all work it out and make ACC just as profitable and big as the SEC or some of those
Because
other?
nobody wants to watch Wake Forest football.
Oh, well, I won't tell Senator.
Nobody
Berger.
wants to sell. Nobody wants to watch
say-
Georgia Tech football.
I don't want to tell Senator Berger that.
Well,
you just said that as a big Wake Forest fan,
and that's fine. But I think if you nailed him down, you'd ask him what's the TV ratings on a typical Wake Forest game. No matter who they're playing, they ain't big.
Oh,
They
that's so
ain't big.
sad.
Well,
okay,
it is sad, but it's just
well,
like look, the SEC has tons of schools that people outside being SEC fans will watch.
sure.
Wake Forest is bad football. Now they've been good, but it's not. But it doesn't move the needle. Georgia Tech doesn't move the needle. That's just not even Duke
It's
football. Not really moving the
Yeah.
needle. Okay.
Yeah, Duke is one of the most hated teams out there.
Yeah,
I saw that
basketball-wise, yeah.
basketball-wise,
I can't bring
it's like-
myself to hate their football just
even-
because it's like why kick somebody when they're down?
I saw even Chapel Hill people rooting for NC State
Well,
versus Duke.
I hope so.
I know it was like the most fun thing to watch those guys begrudgingly lament their own loss, but
Well, Larry Sheen and I filled in on Representative Sain's show this week,
Oh, I bet
and
that
we
was
had
fun.
that same conversation. It's tough to hate Moo U. It just is. It's tough to hate on NC State. It's easy to hate Duke.
yeah,
It's so easy to hate Duke. Like it doesn't require. You don't even have to look for anything.
well, yeah, okay, I can say that. I was a Christian Leitner fan back in the
Of
day.
course you were.
I was. I loved him. Loved him. Bobby Hurley,
Yep.
Grant Hill.
Well, we're getting ready to get cut off. Thanks
Okay.
everybody for listening to We're Just Saying. Have a great weekend.
Serving you better than ever before. 1059 100.7 WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North